Dr. Odyssey Episode 10 delivers Orca-Nized chaos for the Odyssey's crew. The Odyssey has weathered yet another storm and come out the other side, but not without some physical and metaphorical scars to prove that sharks, orcas, and electrical outages, oh my, have nothing on the ship. Dr. Odyssey Episode 9, Shark Attack, left off with Avery Philpassu, Tristan, Dr. Max, Joshua Jackson, and the newly introduced trauma surgeon Brooke Lane, Adrienne Palicki, desperately attempting to save 3 patients at once, all while Captain Robert, Don Johnson, attempted to guide the ship through what seemed like imminent doom. After a great white shark swam directly into the Odyssey's propeller, the mechanics of the ship shut down entirely, leaving the vessel dead in the water and the medical team with no electricity in the middle of surgery. As promised by the cliffhanger moment, Episode 10 picks up immediately after and sees the medical staff working to stabilize Spencer Monroe, Marcus Emmanuel Mitchell, Josie, Rumor Willis, and Billy, Kurt Yeager, each with varying shark bite injuries. Thankfully, the crew is able to level out all 3 patients, still in the dark and without access to any or all of their electrically powered medical equipment. Even so, it's clear that the critical patients need to get to land immediately, or the ship would not be the only thing dead in the water. Realizing that the Orca pod has fled from the waters near the Odyssey, the group of medical professionals ultimately decides to send a tender boat out to try and make the 2-hour trek to land, carrying the patients, Dr. Lane and Avery, to safety. Given Avery's current knocked-up status, however, going out on the open water does not sit right with Dr. Max, which only drives a larger wedge between the co-workers and potentially soon-to-be co-parents. When will Max learn that Avery is an independent woman who doesn't need a man to worry about her? The answer to that rhetorical question is not soon enough, as Max's constant stressing leads Avery to make a move on Tristan, who has given her plenty of space following the positive pregnancy test. Clearly, this is not the relationship that we are supposed to be rooting for. But since Max is taking an old-school, cough-cuff, outdated approach to Avery's bodily autonomy, we can't blame her for running into the arms of a more modern lad. But seeing as less than 5 miles out from the ship, the tender boat carrying Avery, Brooke, and the injured patients encounters the Orca pod, we kind of can't blame Max for worrying. Rather than risk continuing on with the trek to land, the crew turns back and heads toward the Odyssey, hoping that Rosie, Jacqueline Taboni, may have been able to get the ship back up and running in their absence. No such luck awaits them back aboard as the group returns to darkness and despair, plus dwindling medical supplies for the 3 injured guests. The situation even becomes so dire that Billy asks Avery to save his girlfriend, Josie, if they have to choose between them. And it may just come to that, since Josie wakes up from sedation to a throbbing pain, requiring the doctors to take her into surgery to check if a foreign object is in her abdomen. Yes, that's right, going in dark in the literal dark. Before they can cart her off, though, she makes Billy promise that if they make it out alive, he will marry her on the spot. As Dr. Max, Avery, and Brooke work to find the cause of Josie's injury, Rosie kicks it into high gear, completely shutting down the ship and making one final attempt to turn the power back on. And because Rosie is the best, the Hail Mary pays off, just as Dr. Max is complaining that he needs a little more light to be able to identify an object in Josie's stomach. Finally illuminated, the team pulls out a full shark tooth from Josie's open abdomen, giving her a proper chance at walking down the aisle with Billy, or at least rolling down it in a wheelchair. The episode ends as the ship finally makes it back to shore, but not before an impromptu nuptial ceremony for Josie and Brody, who promise to never go out on a surf vacation again. With love in the air, Dr. Max says goodbye to Dr. Brooke. Does anyone want to take bets on how many episodes until she returns? And a date for Avery and Tristan. Will their love blossom, or will Max and Avery's feelings for each other win out? And what will Avery do about the pregnancy? We'll just have to wait until next week's 911 crossover to get our answers.